Hi, everybody. So we have with us tonight Ryan and Allison Agnew, who are the parents of the adorable warrior princess Aspen. I had the privilege of meeting Aspen and the both of you a couple weekends ago at our DIPG DMG symposium in Houston, Texas. And both my husband and I immediately fell in love with her huge heart. You guys, oh my goodness, she is adorable. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and
thank you.
Thank you for sharing Aspen with the world. So thank you.
No, I mean, these kids need to be shared with the world so they can see, the darkness that's out there that's, could potentially take them out of this world. And if they don't know about that and they don't see the faces that it's affecting and whatnot, I mean, people don't understand how desperate the situation is with DIPG and other forms of childhood cancer in general. So yeah, no, thank you for giving us the time and the platform to speak with you today and to, talk to anybody who's listening out there with kind of how we're overcoming these things and trying to just continue on.
Absolutely. So I know that Aspen's not with us tonight because she is living her life and with her grandparents, just like any other 5-year-old should be doing. So we'll go ahead and start with you guys. And I want you to share with us a little bit about Aspen and her journey.
Okay, do you want to talk? You want me to?
Sure, I can start anyways. Aspen was diagnosed on June 25th of 2020 with DIPG. We knew something was going on and we just weren't sure what it was. Mom had a gut feeling that there was something going on in her brain, and I insisted on an MRI, and glad I did. We found out, and we were rushed to the hospital in our city, and she immediately, we were told that she had hydrocephalus, and so she had a shunt placed. We were up in the hospital for about 4 days, and I had just had a baby 2 months prior, so we had a little 2-month-old at home that luckily we have family close by that stepped in right away and was able to take care of him so we could be at the hospital with her for those long weekend. And we were not given much hope at the hospital. It was radiation, and here's a bunch of trials that could potentially give her, more time. But I'll never forget when the doctor told me that she had 12 to 24 months to live.
Those words are just horrible.
Horrible. And that she was given longer than some kids. We've talked to families that it's like they're given 6 months, and I don't know how they make that call, but we are on 17 months now.
Yeah.
Post-diagnosis, and she's still doing well. From the hospital, we came home, and my husband and my sister-in-law went to work on research, trying to figure out what we needed to do to save her life. And I just, went back to being mom, making sure she was well taken care of, making sure that she was taking all of her medicine that we needed her to take, all of her
trying
vitamins.
to be as normal as possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Taking care of the baby, so I'm so grateful for, the people that are doing the research so that I could be mom and try to make life as normal as possible for us.
Right. It is, when you said that they told you 12 to 24 months and that you'll never forget that. That's why we're doing things like this Giving First Give-a-thon, is because it's just so important to raise funds for research so that one day a family comes in and their son and daughter is diagnosed with DIPG, but the doctors can turn to the family and say, your son or daughter has DIPG, but don't worry, we've got a plan.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what we need to do.
I think that was probably the most devastating thing for me, was that there was no plan. It was like, you hear about kids, getting cancer, or adults getting cancer, and it's like, okay, you do this, this, and this, and hopefully in the end you're cancer free. And I mean, I just couldn't believe that there was like, it was like there was nothing. It's like radiation gives them 6 more months, and then from there it's,
kind of the Wild West.
yeah, it's like, you don't know what you're going to get after that. And I mean, luckily Aspen responded really well to radiation the first round. We did a clinical trial in Seattle, Washington. We lived there for a while and had a really good memories made there. And then when we came back to Salt Lake, we would go every 9 weeks back to Seattle for just a few days, but it was just Aspen and I. And again, we made really good memories going out there. Unfortunately, it was about a year after she was diagnosed, she was in progression. The tumor had grown twice the size as it was in 8 weeks. I mean, that still blows my mind too.
8 months.
No, I'm saying from
gotcha.
April
Yep.
to
Correct.
April to June.
Yeah, sorry.
It had doubled in size, and it just can happen so fast. It's scary.
Yeah. So you guys are fundraising in honor of Aspen for our 100 Family Strong Giving First. I wanted to know why this is important to you. Why is fundraising important to you?
Because we don't have any funds. I mean, fundraising is like the lifeblood, and unfortunately we don't have really the government institutions or anything, that you have with other cancers and stuff going to this, specifically DIPG, but childhood cancer in general doesn't get the time of day, which is really sad, because when you think about it, like, the kids are essentially the future of the country. And I mean, they're just getting kicked to the curb here. And so fundraisers like this and stuff are so important, because this is what's getting the research out there. This is the difference between, hey, go home and make memories. I mean, you'll no longer be able to hug your kid in 12 months from now, or this is how we treat your child, you know what I mean, for future generations. And, if nobody else is going to stand up to it, we have to, and I would rather do it now. And I think any parent you talk to that's a part of stuff like this, not only for our own child's sake, but I mean, we're just regular people. You have no idea when this is going to hit your family or your neighbor's family, or, a cousin or whoever. And it's like, it's just not right when you've been thrown into this world to just, accept that that's how things are. And so this is a way we can proactively try and change things, and make it so that when, like we touched on earlier, you go into the hospital and they say, here are the steps we take to get your kid cancer free. That's the goal here. And, if nobody else is going to step up to the plate and do it, it's up to people, like all of us involved here that are aware of it. And aware, we didn't even know what DIPG was until you're diagnosed. And that's such a sick reality to hear. That's how you find out, is when your kid's under an MRI and it hits you like a semi, that all this, your whole world just unraveled. And
nobody thinks it's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't think that childhood cancer is going to affect your family. Like, it doesn't happen to me. It doesn't happen to people like me, right? Until it does. And nobody can be prepared. Nobody, for something like that. So we want to fundraise to get money to help find a cure, so that, like my husband said, when someone is diagnosed with DIPG, there are steps that you take to get your kid cancer free, not go home and make memories.
What you guys have said, I couldn't have said any better myself. And I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to share Aspen's story with us, and talking from your heart, and letting everybody know what the reality of this is. And I know it wasn't easy to come on here and share, but it's going to take families like yours to speak up and to let everybody know why it's important. So thank you guys so much for coming out tonight and for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us, the platform to speak our minds and kind of open people's reality, because ultimately I'd rather you find out from watching a video on the internet than finding out, at a doctor's office.
Absolutely.
Your MRI. So,
absolutely.
That's kind of.
I agree. Well, you guys give Aspen a big hug from us. We absolutely adore your guys' family. And thank you again for coming out.
Of course. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye.
See ya.